Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another video. So today's video is not about a trade that I took today. I did not even look at the charts today after the trade that I took yesterday. I mean, of course, I kept taking a peek at euro dollar to be aware of where my trade is at right now and where I need to take out profits and all. Um, but other than that, I wasn't interested in trading today at all because of this massive trade that I took yesterday. Today's trade is about something that I find really important, and that too is not taught in the industry a lot. I mean, of course, the idea is there, but not a lot of people talk about it. It's basically about letting your runners run, right? You hear multiple mentors say this stuff that you gotta let your runners run, you gotta let your runners run, cut your losses, let your runners run. That is how you make, substantial amount of money. And today's video is about that. So what I'm going to show you guys today is that um, this trade that I took yesterday, where I took my profits, 60% of them at around 7R, and I let the remaining 40% of it run. There were multiple reasons behind why I let the rest of it run. I generally do leave some of my position that I initially take, I do let it run. It either comes back to take me out at break even, or some of these times it gives me massive amounts of profits. Well, that happened in this case. So the 40% that was remaining, and I took out another 20% up in here today during London. So that 40% that was left running has basically made me twice the amount of money that I made yesterday, um, when I took out 60% of my profits. So this trade, specific trade, has from here to here to all the way up to here has uh, done about 25 hours so far. The targets on what's remaining now, there's still some position running on this trade. My stop loss is hereabouts where I took the initial profits. This is where my stop loss is right now. So that too is in some sort of profits right now. A couple of things that I want to talk about uh, is basically number one, of course, if and we'll talk about that in detail when we do the weekly recap of how many trades were taken, what missed opportunities, blah blah blah. We'll talk about that on Saturday probably. But if you've been through the weekly analysis that we did on Sunday, I'm sorry, Monday this time. Yeah, we did it on Monday this week. You should be able to know that we were looking for dollar weakness, yen weakness, Aussie strength. That of course has, traveled better than euro dollar. So basically, this is where the trade would have been taken, and look how far this has traveled. In comparison to euro dollar, euro dollar has also traveled pretty far, but not as far, right? Pound dollar too has traveled pretty far, but not as far as Aussie dollar, and then dollar CAD has also traveled pretty far. Anyway, uh, the reason why I wanted to show you guys today's video, I'm going to keep it brief. I'm not going to get into a lot of details of stuff here and there. What I want to show you guys is why it is important to let some of your position run as a bonus, if it may, right? Because you're never sure what the price is going to do. And that is where, your analysis basically comes in. And that is where uh, your self-control of I'm gonna let this much of my position run because I'm okay with the amount of money that I already have made. If I make more than this, I'm considering this that a bonus. What in this case turned out to be more than the money I initially made with this specific trade, and it does happen at times, right? It won't happen every time. Might not happen uh, most of the times. More often than not, it might turn around. Uh, you know, against your expectation, but at times it is going to give you massive amounts of risk to reward money as a bonus, and that is what happened in this case. So I while I was in the trade, I've made the video yesterday. I told you guys that I'm gonna take out 60% hereabouts because this why. The reason why I wanted to take out 60% here is because my initial target, my initial aim is for whatever for what I keep talking about every now and then is if a buyer buys and he comes back during the pullback, he's gonna wanna attempt a higher high. That means that he's got to go to the recent highs at least. So for him to attempt a higher high, or in case of a seller lower low, he's got to go to the recent highs or recent lows, right? And that is the safest take profit that you can think of. That is the safest take profit where you can secure uh, profits to your portfolio. And then I generally let some of my positions run depending on my analysis of the trade. So where this was coming after multiple news events, right? So initially, a news event that was job openings on Tuesday that pushed dollar towards weakness, and where we shared the video about the missed opportunity on Aussie dollar, and then there were bigger trades on it, and we'll talk about that during the market recap. So the trade that you're seeing right now that is done about 25R, there were bigger trades than this. Entries during London session, uh, maybe a little confusing around hereabouts, but still there were signs of that dollar is going to go towards weakness. The reason why I let 40% of it run, generally I do not, right? So depending on the analysis, I would rather take out 70% or 80% up in here with about 6 or 7R and then let the rest of it run. But on this specific trade, there were multiple reasons why I let 40% of it run. Number one, of course, because it was coming from multiple news events. Number one, on Tuesday, the job openings were pushed dollar towards weakness. And then, of course, there were signs on Monday as well. There were signs of dollar weakness on Monday as well. Although this massive sell came in, but there were signs of weakness with this. I'll tell you guys what those signs were um, as we do the market recap on Saturday. Not going to talk about that right now. What I am talking about right now is the importance of letting some of your position run. And if I'd closed all my position up in here yesterday, today I'd just be sitting here with no entries on euro dollar whatsoever or any other dollar whatsoever. I'd be sitting here sulking, cursing myself over the amount of pips or the distance it has traveled so far. And it's so much more than where I initially took out my profits. And that is what I wanted to talk about today. You have to be able to um, be okay with letting some of your position run as a bonus if it may, right? Do not consider that as this is the money I'm bound to make. Consider that as a bonus that is going to keep running. If it makes you money, it makes you money. If it doesn't, you already are at break even with your stop loss, so it's not going to, you're not in any sort of loss with that, right? So again, generally I would take out a substantial amount of money at a specific area, which in this case was um, this high, because the price initially when it started to buy from here went all the way up to there. My initial target is those recent highs, right? I don't care if the price is going to continue to push higher. I want to secure some profits to my portfolio while I'm in that trade. And this is not small profits. It's about 6 or 7R, 7R to be more precise. That is a lot of money. If I take out 60% of 7R, I'm making about 3.5 to 4% of my total equity. And that is in one trade or even in 1 week, quite a bit of money, depending upon the size of your equity, of course. But what I left to run has made me more money than I initially made on taking out the 60%. Let that sink in. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on this euro dollar trade. It's traveled so far. Again, I could have been in on a better dollar sell, but this too is a lot of money. All right. Tomorrow's NFE, the bias on dollar is still that of a sell, and we'll talk about the importance of setting a bias at the beginning of the week. That's what we did in the weekly analysis that you guys can visit back and take a look at, and we'll talk about that on Saturday too. But this is what I wanted to talk about today: the importance of letting some of your positions run, and the importance of news events. Of course, you can see the follow through has been much, 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 much stronger. All right, cheers, guys.